हॅलो. हा नमस्कार, मी प्रोफेसर कुठे बोलतोय.
माझा आवाज येतोय का?
तुमचा मला आता इथून मोबाईल वरून तर येतोय, पण इकडून मी जे बोलतोय ते माहित नाही.
माझा आवाज काय येत नाही तेवढंच फक्त.
बरं पाहून घ्या सर.
एक मिनिटात चालू.
हो हो ठीक आहे. ओके.
हॅलो हॅलो
हॅलो. हा येतोय सर आता आवाज.
येतोय सर.
येतोय ना, आला ना.
हा येस येस.
ठीक
आय
ठीक.
कॅन हिअर.
तिले सर आवाज आला का माझा?
तिले सरांनी
हो येत आहे सर. हो येत आहे सर.
हो ठीक ठीक. त्या मुलीला जॉईन करून घ्या ना सर.
हो
तिला लिंक पाठवा ना.
येस येस.
जॉईन झालेल्या सगळ्या मंडळींचं स्वागत आहे. 1-2 मिनिटामध्ये आपण कार्यक्रम सुरू करू. परंतु सगळ्यांना थोडासा जरा वाट बघावा लागेल जॉईन होणं. हो सर. होता का म्हटलं? नाही, तुम्ही दुसरी लिंक छोटी स्ट्रीम यार्डची मेन मेसेजमधली नाही, त्याच्या खाली जी मी पाठवली आहे हां, त्याच्यातून तुम्ही दिसाल ना एकमेकांना. अदिति की मोबाइल से कौन ज्वाइन हुआ है? निकिता है क्या? हेलो. अदिति. हेलो.
सर माझा आवाज येतो?
हो येतोय सर. माझा येतोय ना तुम्हाला?
हो.
कार्यक्रमाला आपण सुरुवात करूया. आजच्या राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान दिवसाच्या निमित्ताने अमरावतीच्या नरसम्मा महाविद्यालयातर्फे विज्ञान भारती आणि महाविद्यालयातली अभ्यासपूरक कमिटी को करिक्युलर समिती याच्या माध्यमातून एका पॉप्युलर टॉकचं आयोजन आजच्या दिवसाच्या निमित्ताने करण्यात आलेलं आहे. या कार्यक्रमाला महाविद्यालयामध्ये वेगवेगळ्या स्क्रीनवर काही ग्रुपनी पण जॉईन झालेली मंडळी आहेत, काही फॅकल्टी आहेत, काही विद्यार्थी आहेत काही ठिकाणी बसलेले, समाजातली पण मंडळी आहे. या सगळ्यांचं मी स्वागत करतो. या आजच्या कार्यक्रमाला महाविद्यालयाचे सन्माननीय प्राचार्य सर चंदन पाट सर हे विशेषत्वाने उपस्थित आहेत. आज ज्यांचं उद्बोधन विज्ञान दिवसाच्या निमित्त आपल्याला लाभणार आहे ते आदरणीय कुथे सर नागपूरचे असलेले, ते पण आपल्यासोबत जॉईन झालेले आहेत. विज्ञान भारतीचे अमरावतीचे सचिव म्हणून असलेले आमच्याच महाविद्यालयातले प्राध्यापक मंगेश तिहिले सर हे सुद्धा आपल्या स्क्रीनवर सगळ्यांना दिसतात आहे. सर्व मंडळी पुन्हा एकदा स्वागत करतो. राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान दिवसाच्या निमित्ताने महाविद्यालयामध्ये विविध प्रकारचे कार्यक्रम आयोजित होतच असतात. सायन्स वीक म्हणून अशी कल्पना सुद्धा महाविद्यालयामध्ये बरेच वर्ष आपण राबवली. अलीकडच्या काळामध्ये 10वीचे पेपर्स आणि आपलं महाविद्यालय सेंटर म्हणून असल्यामुळे थोड्या कार्यक्रम घेण्यामध्ये निर्माण होतो आणि म्हणून या टेक्नॉलॉजीच्या मदतीने ऑनलाईन पद्धतीने का होईना 2-3 वेगवेगळे उपक्रम करून, क्विज घेऊन, काही पोस्टर कॉम्पिटिशन घेऊन, ऑनलाईन पॉप्युलर टॉक घेऊन अवेअरनेसच्या दृष्टीने आणि सायन्सला पॉप्युलराइज करण्याच्या दृष्टीने प्रयत्न करत असतो. त्याच्याच अंतर्गत आज आपण सगळेजण एकत्र आलेलो आहोत. विज्ञान भाग घेतच असतात, त्याचाच एक इंडिकेटिव्ह म्हणून आपल्या कुथे सरांचं उद्बोधन या 2 विद्यार्थिनी आपलं मनोगत या सायन्स डेच्या निमित्ताने आज व्यक्त करणार आहे. एक विद्यार्थिनी MSc ची आहे, एक विद्यार्थिनी BSc ची जी विद्यार्थिनी आहे समृद्धी घोगरे, MSc फर्स्ट इयरला केमिस्ट्रीला शिकते. तिला मी विनंती करतो की तिने आपलं मनोगत आजच्या या विज्ञान दिवसाच्या निमित्ताने सुरुवातीला व्यक्त करावं. समृद्धी.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, hello. First of all, good evening, everyone, and thank you, sir, for this opportunity. My name. Yeah.
मला वाटते कनेक्टिव्हिटीचा काही इश्यू चालला आहे. मी महाविद्यालयाचे प्राचार्य सर चंदन पाट सर यांनी कार्यक्रमाचं सुरुवातीला विज्ञान दिवसाच्या शुभेच्छा परत 2 अशी मी सरांना सुरुवातीला विनंती करतो. मग विद्यार्थी जर जॉईन झाले तर ठीक आहे, अन्यथा मग आपण कुठे सरांचं प्रमुख उद्बोधन आजच्या निमित्ताने जे आहे अपेक्षित ते प्रारंभ करूया. चंदन पाट सर.
श्रीमती नरसम्मा कलावाणी जीवविज्ञान महाविद्यालय,
श्रीमती
किरणनगर
नरसम्मा
अमरावती,
कलावाणी जीवविज्ञान महाविद्यालय, किरणनगर अमरावती
यांच्या वतीने आज जागतिक विज्ञान दिवस
यांच्या वतीने आज जागतिक विज्ञान दिवस
साजरा करण्यासाठी स्पेशल टॉक डॉक्टर कुथे सरांचे इथे
साजरा
आयोजित
करण्यासाठी
केलेला आहे.
स्पेशल
प्रथमतः मी
डॉक्टर
त्यांचे
कुथे सरांनी आयोजित केलेला आहे.
स्वागत करतो. आमच्या
स्वागत करतो.
बॉटनिकल डिपार्टमेंटचे
आमच्या
माननीय
टेक्निकल
रत्नभारतीचे
माननीय
विज्ञान भारतीचे दिले सर, उपस्थित सगळे सर्व प्राध्यापक वृंद,
दिले सर, उपस्थित सगळे
विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो,
प्राध्यापक वृंद,
आजचे युग हे विज्ञान युग म्हणून सर्वश्रुत आहे
हे विज्ञान युग
आणि आपण
सर्वश्रुत आहे.
विज्ञानाच्या
आपण
काळामध्ये जगत आहोत. प्रत्येक जण जीवन जगत असताना विज्ञानाच्या साह्याने जीवन जगत ती आजच्या काळाची गरज झाली. आपण सर्वजण मोबाईल बॅन झालेला आहोत. जगाला जवळ करण्यासाठी विज्ञानाच्या माध्यमातून आपण एकमेकांसोबत संपर्क साधू शकतो. माननीय नरेंद्र मोदीजी यांनी विज्ञानाला अधिक महत्त्व दिले. ज्या ठिकाणी आपण पोहोचू शकत त्यावर भारताचा झेंडा रोवू. इतर क्षेत्रामध्ये सुद्धा आपण दृष्टिकोनातून कार्यरत आहोत. माननीय कुथे सर आपल्याला याविषयी संपूर्ण माहिती सांगतील. त्यांचं स्वागत करून मी माझ्या शब्दाला विराम देतो. आपण या विज्ञान दिनाच्या दिवशी माननीय कुथे सरांचं उद्बोधन ऐकावं. थांबतो. जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र.
जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र.
धन्यवाद सर. आपल्या मनोगतामधून सरांनी विज्ञान दिवसाच्या शुभेच्छा पण दिलेल्या आहेत आणि एकूण सगळ्या काळाच्या ओघामध्ये मोबाईल तंत्रज्ञानाचं, विज्ञानाचं सगळं एकूण रचना कशा पद्धतीने आपल्या जीवनाला, विज्ञानाचा संबंध सगळ्यांशी येतोय याची जरा एकूण सगळी निकड आवश्यकता त्यांच्या मी समृद्धी घोगरेला पुन्हा एकदा विनंती करतो की ती इंटरप्ट झालेलं आपलं स्पीच हे कंप्लीट करावं. तुझा आवाज ऐकू येतोय समृद्धी, तू बोलायला सुरुवात कर.
ठीक आहे. Good evening, sir, and thank you for this opportunity to me. My name is Samruddhi Gogre, and I am a purchasing by my MSc in the from of college Srimati Narsimha Haraiya Arts, Science and Commerce College. First of all, I wish you all a very happy National Science Day. We celebrate this day the marks by discovered by the Raman effect by Sir C.V. Raman. For the discovery, the awarded the Nobel Prize in the physics in 1930. The Raman effect was the important discovery, the field of the scatterings of light. We will all always remember his for the contribution of the field of science. This day create the awareness of people about the importance of science and technology. The Next, the technology and the technology and science, the development in India. That is the national. Recently, the nation has gone the foresting culture innovation evident in the surges and step up remarkable achievement in the space and technology. ISRO, by the ISRO, the UPS system we are need every day in your life. The India improved the ranking to 60th position from the 79 position in by the 79 position of NRI. The Chandrayaan 3, the third mission has been successful. The next is the improve the agricultural productivity, reducing loss and enhance the food availability. The corona testing kit of IIT Delhi has been successful at the lowest price. Thank you, sir.
थँक्यू समृद्धी. MSc ला आज काही कॉम्पिटिशनद्वारे सायन्स डेचा एकूण इव्हेंट साजरा पण करण्यात आला. त्याच्यातल्याच काही झालेल्या थोड्याफार गोष्टींमधून समृद्धीने आपलं मनोगत व्यक्त केलेलं आहे. स्वाभाविक नॅशनल थीम पण ज्या पद्धतीची होती म्हणजे आहे ठरलेली, टेक्नॉलॉजीचा भारताला विकसित करण्याच्या दृष्टीने सगळ्याच क्षेत्रामध्ये कशा पद्धतीने उपयोग होऊ शकतो. एक विकसित भारत म्हणून करत असताना विज्ञानाची आणि तंत्रज्ञानाची भूमिका या सगळ्यामध्ये कशी राहू शकते, या विषया यावर्षीची ही थीम आहे. आणि ही थीम आणि त्याला आधारित काही आपले विचार व्यक्त करण्यासाठी आज तशाच सारखे तज्ज्ञ मार्गदर्शक व्यक्ती आपल्यामध्ये उपस्थित आहेत. डॉक्टर कुथे सर, ज्यांचा मी सुरुवातीला उल्लेख केला, प्रदीर्घ अशा प्रकारचा टीचिंगचा एक्सपिरियन्स सरांचा नागपूरच्या, आपण ज्याला विश्वेश्वरय्या कॉलेज नावाने ओळखतो, VNIT, त्या ठिकाणी 30 वर्षापेक्षा जास्त काळ सरांचा टीचिंग प्रोसेस गेलेला आहे. मेकॅनिकल इंजिनिअरिंगला अनेक बॅचेसला शिकवत असताना केवळ शिकवण्याचं काम न करता PhDचं काम, रिसर्चचं काम, सायंटिफिक पेपर्स जर्नल्समध्ये, कॉन्फरन्सेसमध्ये वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीने प्रसारित करून प्रत्यक्ष विद्यार्थ्यांना स्टार्टअपच्या स्कीमला लावून एक प्रेरणा देणे, त्यांना वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या देणे, असं सगळं काम सरांनी वेगवेगळ्या IITच्या वेगवेगळ्या ब्रांचेससोबत, वेगवेगळ्या फर्मसोबत केलेला आहे. असा प्रदीर्घ असा प्रकारचा सरांचा परिचय आहे. बायोमेडिकल इंजिनिअरिंग अँड टेक्नॉलॉजी या सेक्शनचा सरांकडे चार्ज आहे. आणि अशा प्रकारच्या एक इनोव्हेटिव्ह बायोलॉजिकल सेक्टरमध्ये सुद्धा लक्ष देतात आहे. आणि वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचं कार्य हे विज्ञानाच्या दृष्टीने, पेटंट्सच्या दृष्टीने, विद्यार्थ्यांच्या दृष्टीने, R&D ज्याला आपण म्हणतो, अनेक वेगवेगळ्या प्रोजेक्टमध्ये आणि भारताबाहेर सुद्धा वेगवेगळ्या अशा प्रकारच्या इन्स्टिट्यूटमध्ये मेडिकल सायन्सच्या क्षेत्रामध्ये सरांचं कार्य चाललेलं आहे. असा एक प्रदीर्घ कुथे सर आज आपल्याला या विज्ञानाच्या एकूण सगळ्या क्षेत्रामध्ये नावाजलेलं म्हणून व्यक्तिमत्व जे आहे ते आपल्या या कार्यक्रमामध्ये उपस्थित झाले आहेत. त्यांनी वेळ काढला. मी सरांचं पुन्हा एकदा मनपूर्वक आभार व्यक्त करतो. आणि मधला अधिक वेळ न घालवता परिचयातल्या 2 गोष्टी राहिल्या असतील त्या आपण त्याची एक मनपूर्वक सरांची माफी मागून आपल्या प्रमुख उद्बोधनाला सरांनी प्रारंभ करावा अशी मी सरांना विनंती करतो.
धन्यवाद रत्न पारखी सर. माझा आवाज येतोय का तुम्हाला? ऐकू येतंय सर सगळ्यांना?
हो हो येतोय सर.
ऐकू येतंय सर
हो हो
सगळ्यांना?
येतोय.
नाईस, नाईस. सो खूप छान वाटलं तुमचा म्हणजे प्रत्येक
खूप छान वाटलं तुमचा
शब्दापासून मी पहिल्या शब्दापासून तुमचं ऐकतो आहे आणि
शब्दापासून मी
ज्या
पहिल्या
तऱ्हेने
शब्दापासून
तुम्ही
तुमचं
सुरुवात केली
ऐकतो आहे
आणि मला
आणि
थोडं इको येतोय.
ज्या तऱ्हेने तुम्ही
बाकी
सुरुवात केली
बाकी
आणि
लोकांनी
मला
जर
थोडं
म्यूट केलं तर
इको
मला
येतोय.
तर दिसून
बाकी
म्यूट केलं
लोकांनी
तर
जर म्यूट
बऱ्यापैकी
केलं
ऐकू येते मला.
तर
हां, तर ऐकू येतंय माझं संभाषण सगळ्यांना? ऐकू येतंय का? हॅलो?
हो येते सर येत आहे.
नाही. तर मला असं वाटतं आता जास्ती वेळ न गमावता मी
हो
माझ्या
येते
स्लाईड
सर
शेअर
येत
येतोय
करा.
येतोय.
हां. मी माझ्या स्लाईड शेअर करतो पहिले. तर इथून या प्रेझेंटच्या याच्यातून करू का? सिटीमध्ये जाऊन?
हो हो
तर इथून
बिलकुल बिलकुल तुम्ही
प्रेझेंटच्या
तुमच्या
याच्यातून करू
पद्धतीने
का?
सुरू द्या सर.
सिटीमध्ये जाऊन
शेअर स्क्रीन करतोय मी आता आणि होपफुली
शेअर स्क्रीन करतोय मी आता
हो हो
आणि
एक मिनिट.
होपफुली एक
प्रेझेंट मध्ये गेल्यानंतर सुद्धा येईल सर ऑप्शन.
इथे प्रेझेंटमध्ये पण येईल का? नाही, मी इथे एंटायर स्क्रीन
इथे
करतो होतो.
प्रेझेंटमध्ये पण येईल का?
हो प्रेझेंट
मी
मध्येच
इथे
आहे.
एंटायर स्क्रीन करतो होतो.
हां, पहा सर आता एक मिनिट मी जरा लेट मी क्विकली सी दॅट.
एक मिनिट जरा लेट मी क्विकली सी दॅट.
माझी पहिली स्लाईड दिसते का सर सगळ्यांना?
माझी पहिली स्लाईड दिसते का सर सगळ्यांना?
कॅन यू कॅन यू सी माय स्लाईड नाव?
कॅन यू सी माय स्लाईड ना?
हॅलो, माझी स्लाईड दिसते का सगळ्यांना?
हा
माझी
दिसते आहे
स्लाईड
सर
दिसते का
दिसते.
सगळ्यांना?
हां, व्हेरी थँक यू, थँक यू, थँक यू. तर कुठेही काही तसं प्रॉब्लेम
थँक
आला
यू
तर
थँक
मला
यू.
फोन करून सांगू शकता सर तुम्ही आणि मग त्याप्रमाणे आपण ॲडजस्ट करून घेऊ.
हो हो
Thanks a
बिलकुल.
lot
आणि
for giving
त्याप्रमाणे
me this
आपण
opportunity. Yeah,
ऍडजस्ट करून
sure.
घेऊ.
So, thanks for giving me this opportunity. I'm thankful to Narsamma College of Arts Science of Amravati, Dr. Chandan Pat sir of principal, Dr. Ratna Parki sir, coordinator of this event, faculty members, my beloved student, and those who have joined this particular session to hear from me about a new topic or the something which we call it as a uh, new innovation in the technology called rapid prototyping and 3D modeling. We that is also called as 3D printing. Now it's a technology innovation, and then there is always the issue like we are we always say that science and technology, we never said technology and science, and therefore this is very important for all of you to understand. The science come first and then the technology. How do you rather look at the science and technology? It's very simple, that science is a basic innovation that everybody tries to look at, and technology is the next logical step which helps the which gives comfort to the society, that means to the human being. That is what exactly we talk about is science and technology. So science and technology are together, so there is hardly any difference. Unless the science progresses, technology can't progress. That's what exactly the case is. Now I'm just showing you here on my first slide the picture of the our VNIT at night, and it's a standing invitation from me to all of you to come and see our institute in the morning, daylight. And then another picture is of a CAD/CAM center where actually we get our research work done. And there are two major projects, that is a Batik and Smart Foundry, which we are now presently working on, and it's a unique center where you will find that the state of the art machineries are involved. So let me now show you an interesting rather the figure here. The everybody can very easily see that there is a doctor and there is an engineer. So now I'm going to talk about the technology which actually helps in getting the engineers and doctor together. So doctor is all about the science, engineer is all about the technology, and this is a perfect amalgamation of the science and technology. That's what exactly I'm interested in discussing with you all. I'll be more happy to know your views on what my talk, so that it will be quite interesting for me to rather answer your query and also to see that what exactly we are progressing at. Now, Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is a buzzword today, and we say that product made in India, but I think we should look at Atmanirbhar Bharat as the product developed based on the problems in India. So we'll have to find out whether there are any problems in India, and can we develop some product which will take care of this particular problem or which will solve this problem. Now let me see what are the problems. Now I hope everybody is aware of the traffic jam nowadays, and you can see this ambulance gets jammed in the traffic jam. That's a major problem. And you can see the another picture here. The doctor, he is in the operation theater, doing getting some surgery done. So now these are the basic problems in these two figures, or the two images which I have shown to you. They say that around 12 people died on the way to hospital because of the traffic jams. And the another one, which all of you can see here, there's a tremendous pressure in the operating room on the surgeons, because he has to focus his attention on the patient surgery, and he is likely to make some mistakes. So it's not an intentional mistake, but because of the fatigue incurred on his mind, he is likely to make some mistakes. So these are the problems which I'm just quoting you here to tell you what exactly the problems are. But then ultimate aim is to see that what is the solution to this problem, and that's what exactly is the technology for. The finding the solution to the problem is important. Now again, showing the same figure where there is a traffic jam. Now can we build, or can we have a flying ambulance which will just take care of the portion of the traffic where there is a jam, and it will be again on the road, and then it will start working on it. That's what exactly one of the solution. Another interesting thing which I'm just showing you here in this particular figure is that can we have the disease medical model ready before the surgery is done by the surgeon, so that he can then carry out his rehearsal of the surgery, and based on the rehearsal of the surgery he will develop the confidence while actually operating the patient, and then whatever the stress he incurs because of the surgery, that will be eased out. So that's what exactly the solution we talk about. So let's see about this so-called the solution. We talk about the innovative product, the way I told you here, that is the flying ambulance, and another one is the medical model. Now, both the things are possible because of what is called as 3D printing, or which we call as the additive manufacturing also. So, what is this 3D printing? Very simple. Now, you can see in this last figure, which I am showing it on the screen, that if you can draw anything on the computer, say for example in the, we call it as a CAD model, computer aided design model, or we also call it as a computer aided drafting model. That means something is edited on the computer, then can I get the physical model directly based on that? That's what exactly the need. So doing anything on the computer and directly getting the physical model, that is what exactly is our ultimate goal. And that goal, or this particular so-called the methodology, will help us in giving the solution to the problem. How? Let me show you here. This is what they call it as a 3D printing. So what is 3D printing? Very simple. Get the anything on the computer, any model, any things drawn on a computer, and just get a physical model directly through that. That is called as a 3D printing. Very simple to understand, very easy to look at. Now, what exactly it means in general? That means you imagine anything and just draw it on the computer. Then that data on the computer, if you can send it to the machine will give you the physical model. So there are the three steps as it is indicated here in the screen. Imagine something, just draw it on the computer, and then get the physical model done. So, what are the actually advantages, or rather, what exactly we are getting the benefits of this particular technology? So, in short, I can say physical model of whatever I see on the computer as a 3D model is 3D printing. Very simple definition, very easy to understand. But let us see its application from the point of view of our benefits to the society. Now, what is this particular 3D printing, or it is also called as rapid prototyping? It is also called as additive fabrication. It is also called as layer manufacturing. These are various names given to it. But if you look at this figure, it's very easy to understand. What is shown in this figure? You get anything on the computer, edit on the computer, and then you can see there is a slice file. So if you can see my cursor, I'm just showing a slice file. What is this slice file? This slice file is nothing but this particular part is divided into n number of layers, and this data from the of the layer is then passed to the machine to build the physical model. So now here you can see the model is shown on the computer. You get it into the STL file, and finally its data is passed to the machine, so that this machine will build this particular part layer by layer, and that's why they talk it as the additive fabrication. Now, look at the text which I am just showing it on the screen. It is mentioned that additive fabrication of a 3D physical model directly from CAD data. That means whatever the CAD file. And the last words are very important: without or with least human intervention or tooling. That means if we, without human intervention or with minimum human intervention and tooling, if you can get the 3D physical model, then that is what is the 3D printing. Now, what is the idea? Idea is very simple. I think everybody is aware of carpenter. So what the carpenter does, he takes the block of a wood, then remove the material from that particular block of material and get its product. Now, his skill as a carpenter is important. At the same time, he needs tool to remove some material from that particular block. Now, there are chances that if he is not a skilled carpenter, then the product will be faulty, or if he doesn't have a proper tools, then even if he has the skill, then the product will be faulty. So these two things are avoided, or rather it is minimized to maximum extent in this particular 3D printing, and therefore 3D printing plays a dominant role in the technology, science and technology today. Now, these are the two machines that presently we are having in VNIT, and we will be procuring new one also. Therein, we will be now developing this 3D model directly from the CAD data. Now, let me now take you to this interesting point. What is 3D modeling? Now, on the computer, there are various softwares available wherein you can actually get the 3D model of any product or any part. Now, what exactly it means? That means you can see on the screen, whatever I am showing, that there is a product which actually mimics the physical product. And you can get it, you can rotate it, you can see it from the different angles, and you will get a feel of as if you are looking at the physical model. But this physical model is not, this particular model is not a physical model, it is a virtual model. So we wish to rather get it in the physical form, which is just possible by using the 3D printing. So I'm just showing you here the various 3D printed engineering parts. So the all these parts is possible to get it on the computer and then send the data to the machine, which I have already shown to you. These are all broad engineering parts which are possible to manufacture. Again, I would like to repeat it. Here I say with minimum human intervention and tools. That's an interesting point. Now here, this is another very interesting figure which you can see the 3D printed by auto parts. All the parts which are required for the automobile, you can 3D print it. It's a wonderful application. Even if you want to change the part as per your convenience or as per your comfort, then you can change it on the computer, get it 3D printed, and just assemble it in the part in that particular car. So this is what exactly is the idea of using the 3D printed part. Now, let me show you an interesting thing here: 3D printing in space. Now, the space vehicle, everybody is aware of that. Just now, one of your student has said that how we have made the progress in the space. But look at the space vehicle, and suppose some part in the space vehicle gets damaged in the space. So what will happen? Now they can't carry the inventory of the parts together because the load will be very high in such scenario. So what is actually done? This is a very interesting thing. The If you can see this slide properly, there is a printing instruction or beam from the earth. That means from the earth, the data is sent, and this particular data is used in the space vehicle to print that particular object. So this is a wonderful figure which you can see, very easy to understand. But what is important here, that any part, if at all it gets damaged or defective in the space vehicle, you can readily print it there and there itself and just fit it into the space vehicle. So this is what is one of the wonderful application of the 3D printing. So I hope the thing you can see very easily, that how the data gets transferred to the machine and then machine will give you the part. Now, what are the various applications of the 3D printing? Now, I'm just showing you here the applications like engineering applications and medical application. I'll be more focusing on the medical side, because engineering application everybody is aware of. That's what I said about the innovative design, the new product, and all that. But let me focus some attention, your attention, on the medical application. So, various applications is medical model for mock surgery, implant design, implant manufacturing. So let me see what exactly is the idea behind this. Computer tomography, CT scan machine, everybody is aware of. I hope many of you must be aware of how exactly the CT scan machine even operates. Now, this machine creates a file, data file, which is called as a DICOM image. They call it as a DICOM image. And what is the CT scan? It is nothing but the n number of X-rays taken of a part. So it is like your total organ is scanned through n number of X-rays at various intervals. So this particular data is in the form of what is called a slice. So what is computer tomography is nothing but a slicing. What is this rapid prototyping or the 3D printing? As I already mentioned to you, it is layer by layer formation. So interesting point here is to just see, can we couple the computer tomography and rapid prototyping? The answer to this is yes. That the data from the CT scan machine, if we can send it to the 3D printing machine, then 3D printing machine will give you the physical model of a medic of a organ, of a body organ. So you can see here that the data from the CT scan is sent to the 3D printing machine. The 3D printing machine, if you can see, if that's where my cursor is, that the 3D printed bone, 3D printed bone, it's in a different material like plastic, ABS plastic, but this is exactly the bone which is scanned by the CT scan machine. Now, what is the idea of using this CT scan to rapid prototyping and all that? Now, everybody is aware of the orthopedic implants. The orthopedic surgeon generally fits the metallic implant whenever the joint gets broken. Uh, I think all of you are aware of the knee implant, the hip implant, or anywhere where there is a breakage in the joint. You can't rather rectify that problem by using a conventional correction of the fracture by attaching some plaster and all that. There you have to put some metallic implants. Now, these metallic implants, which are very important, that needs to be manufactured as per the patient's anatomy, and that is what we generally call as a customized implant. That means what exactly, or rather how exactly you are going to fit that implant into the patient body, which suits to the anatomy of the patient. That is very interesting, and this is possible by using the 3D printing. Now, let me show you an interesting figure here, that what exactly we have done in our CAD/CAM center. So this is a cycle which is represented, but I don't want this cycle to be completed, because in this particular cycle, it is mentioned that the healthy individual, he meets with an accident, or he develops some disease by which his bone gets broken. Now, if that happens, then what you need to do is to get a CT scan of the patient, then generate the computer data, and then using a medical imaging software, it is possible to develop the implant which suits to that patient body. And that implant, this is what is a 3D printing route which we use and then manufacturing process, ultimately getting the implant fabricated which suits to the patient's body, and then ultimately fitting it into the patient body to make him healthy again. Now, this is what exactly the complete research project which we have completed long back, and that's what exactly is mentioned there: development and testing of customized joint replacement implant using layer manufacturing. That is again 3D printing. Now, let me show you an interesting figure here. This is another model which we have actually developed for the TMJ. We call it as a temporomandibular joint for bony ankylosis. Now, this is a model which we have developed for not only for the mock surgery, but to fit it into the patient body, one who has actually developed the problem in the temporomandibular joint. So, this figure is more clear compared to the earlier one. Here you can see that the girl is not in a position to open the mouth. Again, look at my cursor. She was not in a position to open the mouth because of the problem that she has developed in the temporomandibular joint. So we have developed this particular implant based on the 3D printing and using the clay model, and doctors and engineers working together. Then we have fitted into the patient body, and ultimately that particular implant helps that girl to open the mouth, and she started eating the solid food once this particular implant is fitted into her body. Now, this is really very interesting because of the 3D printing, we can develop a customized joint. And this customized joint, again, telling you the same thing, it actually refers to the developing any joint referring to the anatomy of the patient. We have done that. The another one is the metatarsus phalangeal joint implant that is generally fit. This is the problem. You can see the toes of the feet. So how there we have also developed this particular model again by using 3D printing, and it is possible to see that this type of the joint can be developed by using a 3D printing. Remember here what exactly I have shown you in the very first figure. The whole exercise is possible only with the cooperation of doctors and engineers. So a perfect amalgamation of doctor and engineer is seen with the 3D printing. And this is another model where we have actually developed the implant for the cancer patient, and then that helps the cancer patient to get this particular joint implant fitted into the her body, and the defacing that generally gets seen in case of a cancer patient is avoided by developing this type of the implant. Now, the next interesting point, or rather the field, we call it as a tissue engineering. Now, this is again a very interesting field, and what exactly the tissue engineering we talk about? The whenever you talk about the metallic implant, if it is fitted into the body, there are certain problems in long run that needs to be solved by, again, they say that bone is to be replaced by bone, or the organ is to be developed replaced by the same organ and all that. So here in tissue engineering, what we do, this is a next logical step of the 3D printing, that we develop a scaffold. You can see here the meshy structure, and this scaffold we just put it into the bone defect, and there you will find that the cells get proliferated in that. And then the rather than fitting the metallic implant, if you can fit the scaffold, the scaffold will have the all tissue or the cells proliferated in that pores, and ultimately the structure like a bone gets formed. So that's what we generally talk about tissue engineering, a very interesting field which is again possible because of the 3D printing only. Now here again I wish to show you the cycle which we are now presently working on in at VNIT. That here we don't want to complete the cycle, but if at all the healthy individual met with an accident, what we do, we get a CT scan, we convert that into the scaffold, and there we use 3D plotter, bioplotter, we call it a 3D bioplotter, and that is actually a scaffold. That scaffold we fit it into the patient's body by first testing it whether it can generate the cells or not. All these things are taken care for the proliferation of the cells, then ultimately develop the stem cells that gets developed in the scaffold, whether the scaffold structure is conducive for this development and all that. Once everything is done, then the testing is done, then we generally put it into the patient body as a scaffold. So the metallic implant can be logically replaced by the scaffold, and then that scaffold will develop into the bone. That's what exactly the tissue engineering implant. This is what is an infrastructure that we are presently working on, and we are interested in working in this particular field, which will help the patients to get the customized scaffold and hence the tissue engineered scaffold implant. Now, what is the future of the 3D printing? If you look at this particular figure, this is quite interesting. Now, the one is where it is mentioned organ printing. Can we print the organ? Answer to this is yes. Means you can develop the bone, you can develop the heart, you can develop the kidney and all that. Organ transplantation, I think many of you must be aware of that the organ transplantation is a very problematic issue, because the donors are very less, acceptors are more in number, and there are the many people, many patients, they just die because the organ is not available. Can we think of developing this organ in the lab? Answer to this is yes. This is what is the future of 3D printing. We are working on this particular issue. The lot of work is going on all over the world, and the day is not far off when you'll find that the customized organ can be developed in the lab, which can be then fitted into the patient body. So this is one of the future of the 3D printing. We call it as organ printing. The another one is called a 3D construction of the building. Construction of the building is a very complex task. You can see the materials that is required, the manpower that is required, and ultimately the whenever the any building is to be constructed, the total task required from engineering is also very problematic. But can we have the 3D construction of the building using 3D printing? Answer to this is yes. You can see the 3D printing being done in this figure, and complete building gets erected through this 3D printing application. So this is a wonderful application in the 3D printing. The one which you can also see, that can we have the 3D printing of the food? Answer is yes. Future of 3D printing. That means you can think of what type of the food you require, and just you will find that automatically everything will be prepared by the 3D printing machines, and your food will be ready as is shown on the figure. So all this thing is the future of 3D printing. It will be quite interesting for me to just inform you that this is a wonderful video available. I don't want to show you here, but you can always see it on the net. The future of 3D printing, the 10 futuristic application of 3D printing and introduction to the 3D printing. You can just Google it, and you will get a wonderful video of around 25 to 26 minutes, wherein you can see that how this 3D printing is beneficial to the society in general. So, what I would like to tell you at this particular Science Day, that the more and more research in the science help the technology, because you can see the whatever the methodology I had discussed, everything is involved in this, whether it is a material science, whether it is a medical science, or whether the chemistry, biology, everything is involved. So the more and more research in the science will help the technology to progress. And if the technology progresses, then the society gets the benefit. That is what exactly the role. So we always we should say that at this particular Science Day, that we should work hard. We should work in the research domain of the science, and see that your research should be helpful to the society in general. Before I show you my thank you note, let me tell you an interesting thing here. We run a theme in CARICAM Center where we say that engineer your research for startup. Now, here I'm not using the engineer as a noun, but I'm using this word engineer as a this as a verb. That means mold, shape your research in such a way that it should be possible for you to start your own company based on the research. And most of you are working, most of you are studying also, and uh, doing some research. What exactly the next logical step in the research is to get a patent granted. Patenting. of your research. That means saying that this is a unique thing which you have developed, which you call it as a research, which is either a process or a product. Now, once you patent it, then interesting point is to see that through this patent, which we call it a patent granted, you must start earning money. If you don't earn money through the patent granted, then patent is of no use. And that is why the patent is for some, that it is actually the surety from the government for your research. No one will enter into your domain because that is a research done by you. So if you do a serious research wherein you can develop a process, wherein you can develop a product, then you can start your own company, and that is what we generally call as a startup. That's a buzzword today. But remember here, it's a very interesting thing. All of you should understand that startup is the only solution for the underemployment. I don't call it as an unemployment. We call it as an underemployment in India. You know, sorry, you know, the number of job seekers are more, and they are likely to be more. So we want more and more job creation. Now, more and more job creation is not possible by the large players like Tatas or Birlas and all that. They cannot create the more jobs. They have to see that their whatever the jobs they have created that needs sustain there, and at the same time you want them to create more jobs that may not be possible, and that too we always talk in millions. Now, the Nandan Nilekani has said in one of his speech that the what exactly the future of India, the future of India should be more and more startups. That means millions of startups creating few jobs. If few jobs are created by the millions of startups, the number of jobs created will be in millions. Sorry, that is what exactly the thing we should always aim at. So, what I would like to tell you here, that if you devote yourself in the research in science, then it will be possible for you to get a patent granted. And once you have the patent granted, then sorry, then you can definitely start your own company. And such companies, if more in numbers, are formed by everybody, every scientist, and there will be more job creation. That is what exactly I wish to rather tell you at this particular day of science. Okay, thank you very much for your patience hearing. So can I stop sharing here? I'll be happy to interact with you.
थँक्यू सर.
So can you hear me?
येस सर.
Okay. Let me.
सरांनी अतिशय मार्मिक शब्दामध्ये बायोमेडिकल सायन्सचा आज चाललेला सिनेरिओ आणि सरांचा विविध प्रयोगातून येणारा प्रदीर्घ अशा प्रकारचा आपल्याला एक संदेश बरंच काही सांगून जातो. अनेक प्रकारच्या स्लाइड्स आपण पाहिल्या. आपल्याला याच्यावरून 2 मिनिटामध्ये आभार प्रदर्शन होईपर्यंत प्रश्न जर काही विचारायचा असेल तर कॉमेंट बॉक्समध्ये आपण कुठे सरांना प्रश्न विचारू शकतो, किंवा नंतर आपण सरांचा मेल शेअर करून पुढे सुद्धा सरांशी कम्युनिकेट करू शकतो. पण आता सायन्स डेच्या निमित्ताने आपल्याला विचारायचं असेल कोणाला तर कॉमेंट बॉक्समध्ये आपण तोपर्यंत प्रश्न टाकू शकतो. मी विज्ञान भारतीचे आपले सचिव प्राध्यापक तिहिले सर यांना विनंती करतो की त्यांनी आजच्या दिवसाचं काही थोडं महत्त्व पण सांगावं आणि आभार प्रदर्शन पण करावं. कुठे सरांचे महाविद्यालयातर्फे आभार मानावे. तिहिले सर.
सर्वप्रथम सर्वांना नमस्कार. आजच्या दिवसाचं महत्व म्हणजे डॉक्टर सी व्ही रमन नोबेल प्राइज पहिल्यांदाच आपल्या भारतीय मुलातून डॉक्टर सी व्ही रमन यांना नोबेल प्राइज मिळालं. आणि तसंच पाहिलं तर भारतीयांना नोबेल प्राइजची गरज नाही. मुळातच आपलं संशोधन एवढं सखोल आहे की ते संशोधन नोबेल प्राइजच्या पलीकडचं आहे. आपण न्यू एज्युकेशन पॉलिसी मध्ये इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टीमला इन्क्लूड केलेलं आहे. त्याचा मुख्य उद्देशच तो आहे का आपलं स्वतःचं सायन्स, जे मूळ सायन्स वर्षानुवर्ष चालत आलेलं आहे आणि निरंतर काळासाठी चालत राहील, असं विज्ञान आपण आधीच प्रस्थापित केलेलं आहे. आपल्या सर्वांना नोबेल प्राइजची एवढी फारशी काही एवढी उत्कट इच्छा नाही, परंतु नोबेल प्राइजच्या पलीकडचं कार्य आपल्या भारतीय मूळ संस्कृतीत खूप झालेलं आहे आणि निरंतर होते. परंतु त्या आधीच्या संशोधनातून येणाऱ्या नवीन पिढीला आणि आपल्या देशाला आणखी खूप संशोधनात प्रगती करायची आहे. तसंच विज्ञान, टेक्नॉलॉजी आणि विविध क्षेत्रात भारताने या येणाऱ्या काळात खूप सारी प्रगती केलेली आहे. प्राध्यापक डॉक्टर कुथे सरांसारखे वैज्ञानिक आपल्या देशात आहेत आणि अशा वैज्ञानिकांची कास धरून येणारी पिढी ही नक्कीच देशाला खूप समोर घेऊन जाईल, अशी आपण सर्वांची इच्छा आणि हीच प्रार्थना. सर्वप्रथम मी प्राध्यापक डॉक्टर प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर कुथे सर, मेकॅनिकल डिपार्टमेंट VNIT नागपूर यांचे खूप खूप मनापासून आभार मानतो की त्यांनी 3D प्रिंटिंग तसेच टिश्यू इंजिनिअरिंग यावर खूप सखोल ज्ञान देऊन आम्हा सर्वांचं ज्ञान खूप वाढवलं. त्याबद्दल त्यांचे मी खूप खूप आभार मानतो. तसेच ग्रेटफुल थँक्स टू डॉक्टर चंदन पाट सर, प्रिन्सिपल आर्ट कॉमर्स अँड सायन्स कॉलेज, श्रीमती नरसम्मा आर्ट कॉमर्स अँड सायन्स कॉलेज अमरावती, हे सुद्धा मूल्यवान वेळ देऊन उपस्थित राहिले व त्यांनी सुद्धा मनोगत व्यक्त केलं. त्यामुळे त्यांचे सुद्धा मी खूप विशेष आभार मानतो. तसेच डॉक्टर DM रत्नपारखी सर, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ बॉटनी, कोऑर्डिनेटर ऑफ को-करिक्युलर कमिटी, यांचे सुद्धा मी स्पेशल आभार मानतो की त्यांनी या सर्व कार्यक्रमाला आयोजित केलं व खूप छान मार्गदर्शन केलं. सोबतच जे विविध लिंक थ्रू YouTube किंवा आणखी विविध लिंक थ्रू जॉईन झाले, तर त्यांचे सुद्धा विशेष आभार आणि फॅकल्टी मेंबर्स व अदर पर्सनॅलिटीज जे वेगवेगळ्या ठिकाणी येऊन जॉईन झाले, त्यांचे सुद्धा खूप मनापासून आभार मानतो. आणि स्पेशल थँक्स टू स्टुडंट्स that they have made available their times and spend immense and special time with us. So thank you so much Kuthe sir, thank you so much Ratnaparki sir, thank you so much Chandan Pat sir आणि सर्वांचे मनापासून आभार.
थँक्यू सर, खूप छान वाटलं.
धन्यवाद सर. आपण सगळेजण आजच्या सायन्स दिवसाच्या निमित्ताने जीवनामध्ये विज्ञानाची कास धरून भारताच्या प्रगतीला कसं पूरक विज्ञान आपल्याला समोर नेता येईल, विद्यार्थ्यांमध्ये तो दृष्टांत येईल, याचा काही संकल्प करूया. कुथे सरांनी सांगितलेल्या टेक्नॉलॉजीच्या नवनवीन मार्गांचा पण आपण अवलंब करूया. त्याच्यामध्ये जर काही आपल्याला अडचण आली तर कुथे सरांसारखी मंडळी आपल्याला सदोदित मार्गदर्शन करतीलच, अशी सर्वांना ग्वाही देतो. पुनश्च एकदा राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान दिवसाच्या शुभेच्छा सगळ्यांना देतो. आणि या ठिकाणी आपल्या महाविद्यालयातर्फे आयोजित असलेला हा कार्यक्रम आपण संपला असं मी सर्वांच्या वतीने जाहीर करतो. धन्यवाद कुथे सर. धन्यवाद कुथे सर. थँक्यू सर. बोलू सर नंतर सर.
ओके, थँक्यू.
आपलं हे व्याख्यान आजचं महाविद्यालयाच्या यूट्यूबवर नेहमी करता रेकॉर्डेड असते. ते आपण कधीही ऐकू शकतो, त्याचा रेफरन्स घेऊ शकतो आणि त्याचा प्रसारण सर्व चॅनेलवर, विविध सोशल मीडियावर आपण करू शकतो. त्याचा लाभ आपण सगळ्यांनी घ्यावा अशी सगळ्यांना विनंती करतो. आजच्या दिवसाच्या निमित्ताने आपण एक पण लिंक आता या लेक्चर नंतर थ्रो केलेली आहे, ती पण सगळ्यांनी सॉल्व करावी आणि आपल्या महाविद्यालयातर्फे आयोजित या क्विज कॉम्पिटिशनमध्ये पण भाग घ्यावा, सर्टिफिकेट घ्यावं आणि विज्ञानाच्या अवेअरनेसला सगळ्यांनी एकूण हातभार लावावा अशी विनंती करतो आणि या ठिकाणी मी थांबतो. नमस्कार.